Shalom, shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into a quick lesson, land backing off of the lesson that the beloved Elder Yashawamba did earlier today. I believe it was titled Miracles of the Beast in the Industrial Revolution. And I was at the plantation when I was able to listen to it, and the spirit came on me to, kind of research, these industrial revolutions. And I came across a piece of information, which is pretty much going to brief each industrial revolution from the first one all the way up to this 4.0 industrial revolution that this damn devil in his feeble mind thinks he's going to be able to crown. All right, but pursuing the biblical prophecy, it's going to be unsuccessful. All right, he's not going to be able to accomplish this fourth industrial revolution feat. All right, which is going to involve smart cities, man being linked with machine, you becoming part of the Internet of Things. This is what this fourth industrial revolution consists of, man. You being changed. Even that devil Klaus Schwab said that. But it's going to be an utter failure. These devils think they're going to create a synthetic immortality, but it's not possible. And this is the pride of this devil. As a matter of fact, let's start here before we get into this article. Right, the book of Psalms is not really an article, but some information. Psalms 49 and 11, and it reads, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever." Yeah, this is the mindset of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They think they're never going to be moved. Mainly because this whore, Babylon the Great, aka America, has never been touched. She's a virgin to war. But that's about to change. That's about to change with this third woe. Pursuing the biblical prophecy, every nation that bends the bow is going to shoot at you. Pursuing the biblical prophecy, even those that are in Confederate with you, they're going to turn on you. Pursuing the Obadiah, what's that, 1:7, I believe? All right, let's continue on. "In their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names." And that's plain. America was named after an Edomite, right? America Vespucci. And you got Africa was named after an Edomite, right? You have all these towns and cities within America named after Edomites, these streets named after Edomites, these capitals named after Edomites. He marks his territory. But again, your position of power was never meant to be permanent. This was a non-permanent blessing. This was never meant to be forever. This is why this damn devil is in a position where he's trying to create a synthetic immortality by linking man with machine. And that micro CHIP, all right, is going to be the foundation of this industrial revolution, because that's going to be one of the biggest parts of his societal change. Putting that micro CHIP in you, because that allows him to control you in every way and aspect and form of life. Don't listen to these wayward camps telling you that it's sin, or it's sleeping with white woman, or it's an embargo. No. It's an idolatrous image, which is the size of a grain of rice, that's going to go in your hand or in your forehead. It's the micro CHIP, the mark of the MOTB. See? So, hey, you can listen to those other wayward camps if you want to. They're going to walk you right into the ditch, right along with them. But yeah, let's get some of this information, right, that I came across, right? It's from IED, right? Institute of Entrepreneurship Development. Okay? And it's pretty much a blog, right? And it goes into it briefs these four industrial revolutions. Now this is from 2019. All right? I'm gonna start from the top, right? Throughout history, people have always been dependent on technology, and that's and this is Esau's God. Technology, science. This is who Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, truly believes in. He's never believed in who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. The Bible was used to indoctrinate you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and to keep you under subjection, feeble, and docile. It's a damn shame that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are still calling on Jesus Christ. The true name being Yahushai. All right, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Yah means he, Hawa means he, deliverer, Salakia. He is, he exists. You see, Yah means he, Hawa means he is, he exists, he's omnipotent. Bahashem means in the name, and Yahawashai, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, means he delivers. Yah means he, Hawashai means deliverer. These are the true names in the Lashawan Kodash, the Paleo Hebrew. Not Greek, not Jesus Christ, a Greek title. Or God, which is just means power. All right, anyways, let's continue on. Esau's God is technology and science, is the point I'm making here. All right, let's continue on. Of course, the technology of each era might not have the same shape and size as today, but for their time, it was certainly something for people to look at. People would always use the technology they had available to help make their lives easier, and at the same time try to perfect it and bring it to the next level. And this is where Esau's at now with the technology that he's coming to the understanding of. This man's to the point now where he's like, hey, he's through with all the outward appearance. No, he wants to climb up inside you. He wants your soul. He's not satisfied with blood, as scriptures say. Right, let's continue on. This is how the concept of the Industrial Revolution began. Right now, we are going through the fourth Industrial Revolution, aka Industry 4.0. And it's happening right before our eyes. And the majority of you people can't see it. The majority of you people are caught up in everyday living, caught up in your hamster wheel life. With right under your nose, these damn devils are doing all manners of wickedness in efforts to pursue this fourth industrial revolution, which is going to consist of you being a slave, man, on some draconian measures. Here is a little information on the three previous industrial revolutions leading to today. And we'll go through this quick, right? The first industrial revolution, 1765, the first industrial revolution followed the proto-industrialization period. It started at the end of the 18th century to the beginning of the 19th. The biggest changes came in the industries in the form of mechanization. Mechanization was why agriculture started to be replaced by the industry as the backbone of the societal economy. Okay, let's continue on. At the time, people witnessed massive extraction of coal, along with the significant invention of the steam engine that created a new type of energy that later on helped speed up the manufacturing of railroads, thus accelerating the economy. Right, this is when you had those coal mines. This is the time of the coal mines right here, right? And I believe the first industrial revolution started in Great Britain, if I'm correct. But needless to say, the beloved elder Yashawamba goes into that. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link of his lesson in the description box, because he goes into that as well. These are just briefings. It's a bit more. He goes into it a bit more detailed in reference to that. But needless to say, let's continue on, right? The second industrial revolution, right, 1870, right, following the industrial revolution, we see the world go through the second almost a century later. It started at the end of the 19th century with massive technological advancements in industries that helped the emergence of a new source of energy, electricity, gas, and oil. Right? And this is when Esau Edom was on a rampage, gathering up all the resources, right? Being that covetous bastard that he is. This revolution resulted in the creation of the internal combustion engine that started to reach a full potential. Other important points of the second industrial revolution were the development of steel demand, chemical synthesis, and methods of communication such as the telegraph and the telephone. Right? You had your at this time you also had your what? Your chemical runoff coming off of these factories. This is when this damn devil started really polluting the earth. Pumping off forms of chemicals into the atmosphere at these factories, getting off all type of pollutants with his petrol engines. I'm not sure if they were making plastic. I believe they were making plastics at this time. Non-degradable plastics, PETs, polluting the oceans. This man's been doing this for hundreds of years, man. Let's continue on. Finally, the inventions of the automobile and the plane at the beginning of the 20th century are the reason why to this day, the second industrial revolution is considered the most important one. Right? Because at this point, this is when they transition into that microwave society. Able to go to and fro faster than ever before, right? Via automobile and plane, right? Let's continue on. The third industrial revolution, 1969, and that's a very special year. That's a very special year. Why? Because it's the same year Abba Bivens, this gospel, okay, begin to sprout. Okay? Abba Bivens, which was Elijah, if you believe it or not. Okay? Pursuing the Malachi, the 4th chapter. Why do we believe this wholeheartedly? Because he did exactly what the scriptures say he was going to do. He turned the hearts from the fathers to the sons and the hearts of the sons to the fathers, man. Through the gospel being preached that was sent down from heaven. But anyways, that's another lesson for another time. If you can believe that, if you can receive it, you can. But it's plain, right? Another century passes and we bear witness to the third industrial revolution. In the second half of the 20th century, we see the emergence of yet another source of untapped at the time energy, nuclear energy. You see, and this nuclear energy was when they were able to make all type of miracles happen as far as what? Fire come down from the sky heavens, man. Because what did they do? Excuse me, Slakia. This is when they bombed, this is around the time they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. This was what? Give or take. When did that happen? Around 1945? Let's go get that real quick. 1969. Yeah, I believe Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Was that 1945? Let's get this real quick. How do you spell that? Right here. Let's get that right there. Atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 1945. Let's read this first paragraph here. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the detonation of 2 atomic bombs over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6 and 9 August 1945 by the United States, right? By the beast. You see? The 2 bombings killed between 129,000 and 226,000 people, most of whom were civilians. This man is cold. Hey, this is that red horse. And remain the only use of nuclear weapons in an armed conflict, man. See, this nuclear technology was out prior to 1969 because they had something by the name of what was it, the Manhattan Project, I believe it was, and that damn devil, Robert Oppenheimer. I believe he was a director. He was one of the lead directors. He literally physically built these bombs that were used to bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. This is that wonder that they were able to create. What's that? Revelations 13, which we're gonna be in. Let's go there. We're gonna get Revelations 13 and 16 and bring that point home as well. Well, let's get this real quick. Let's get Revelations 13 and 13 real quick, right? The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 13, it reads, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." The beast did that. We just read it. America. This was the first nuclear. Let's get that. What did it say? Bear with me. It said, and remain the only use of nuclear weapons in an armed conflict. And who did it? Boom, there you go, there you have it. Right, the beast. Right? The whore that rides upon the beast, to be more specific. Right, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. He did that in the form of this nuclear bombing on these gooks, man. Because this is what this man's built for. This man, and you've seen the majority of the ones that got hit with civilians. Weren't even armed military, man. Weren't even armed military. Unarmed civilians. This is why scripture says this. Let's get this real quick. And then we're going to jump back into that little blog. And I'm not going to make this too long through the spirit. I just want to get into, this is all going to lead to Revelations 13 and 16. You see? This is where we're going with this thing. This is all going to lead to Revelations 13 and 16. Because, again, this is what this fourth industrial revolution consists of. Him climbing inside you with that grain of rice. The book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 4, and it reads, "And there went out another horse that was red," and that's Esau, evil E. Genesis 25 and 25. Esau came out red all over, didn't he? Right? And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And he's done that. He's accomplished that. His history testifies against him. We can simply we just went into a brief history back in 1945. That was Esau that did that. That's just one of many things he's done. The list goes on and on. There's file cabinets of what this damn devil has done as far as taking peace from the earth. And that they should kill one another. And they did that in the form of, World War I, World War II, right? These other small skirmishes, the other skirmishes they've had amongst each other, these Edomites, right? And that they should kill one another, right? And there was given unto him a great sword. Genesis 27. Esau was blessed with the sword. This is evil E, the terror of the earth. The terror of the earth, evil E, polluting the earth, all right, chopping down trees, causing deforestation, right? Because he cuts down the trees at a massive rate. Just a terror to the earth. He goes to and fro throughout the planet Earth, terrorizing everyone and everything. This is why the earth is going to rejoice upon the removal of this man. This is why the creature hasteneth the return of the sons of God, man, pursuing the Romans 8. Let's go here. Let's go back. Let's continue on. All right, let's continue on. The third revolution brought forth the rise of electronics, telecommunications, and of course computers. And ultimately, this is the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We know that. We know that, right? Let's continue on. The third industrial revolution opened the doors of space expeditions, research, and biotechnology through the new technologies. And they never been to space. And that biotechnology is where this is where this thing is going. They want to climb inside you, Jake. Everybody. But Jake, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, what you got to understand is that you're going to die the death of an infidel, man, if you end up taking that CHIP. Because that judgment that's coming from the Almighty upon this second death is for the wicked. You know, and you, Jake, that you 2/3 of you, Jake, are going to be joined unto that. You know, it's destiny. It's written, pursuant to Zechariah 13:8. You see? But the warning must go out. In the world of the industries, two major inventions, programmable logic controllers and robots, help give rise to an era of high-level automation. And there's going to be robots on the scene, all right, throughout the time of Jacob's trouble. Daniel 12:1 says it's going to be a time like no other. Why? Because it's going to be drones, super soldiers, cyborgs, terminators, mechanical dogs. This man's technology has, knowledge has increased. His technology has increased. These things are going to be on the scene. And you, Jake, ain't ready for that. You're going to need divine intervention in this day. But let's continue on. Let's get to the point, right? Industry 4.0 is what they're calling it, right? For many people, Industry 4.0 is the fourth industrial. And 1969, that was the end of the Hello Lucy, I'm Home. That was the end of Hello Lucy, I'm Home. After by 1969, they were out of that spirit. You know, that's another reason I just want to put out there. That's why another reason why Esau was on the rampage. Because things started going downhill for him then, back in 1969. That's another point I wanted to make. And that's why I brought up Abba Bivens and this truth at that time. Why I said that was a, that's interesting. That year is interesting. That's a special year. You see, because that's when things really started going downhill for Evil E. Right? Let's continue on. Industry 4.0. For many people, Industry 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution. Although a large portion of people still disagree, if we were to view Industry 4.0 as a revolution, we would have to admit that it is a revolution happening now. We are experiencing it every day, and its magnitude is yet unknown. Its magnitude is the climax of it is going to be that CHIP going up inside you. Industry 4.0 started at the dawn of the third millennium with the one thing everyone uses every day, the internet. And this is what he wants to connect you to, the Internet of Things. We can see, and he's going to be able to accomplish that by putting that micro CHIP in you. We can see the transition from the first industrial revolution rooted in technological phenomena to Industry 4.0 that develops virtual reality worlds, allowing us to bend the laws of physics. And they are able to do that with that HARP system they have. Right? They have a, not the HARP system. I forgot the name of it. That collider. You Akiyam and Akwaf know what I'm talking about. Right? The fourth industrial revolutions shaped the world. Worldwide economies are based on them. And this is what this is, again, this is going to be a complete societal change. This fourth industrial revolution is going to consist of a technological the dollar, a set society as a whole. What do you think the CBDC is about? Right, let's continue on. Where was I? The fourth industrial revolution shaped the world. Worldwide economies are based on them. Programs and projects are being implemented worldwide. Right, focusing on helping people. Yeah, okay. Focusing on helping people to take advantage of the marvels of the fourth revolution during their everyday lives. And this is the miracles going into Revelations 13 and 14. Because we know this nigga doesn't want to help nobody. Scripture says, if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. So we know this is a damn lie. Right? But this is playing to the holy. What a stumbling block to the wicked. The wicked ain't going to see it. They're going to fall right into the snare of the fowler. Let's continue on. Projects like the Restart Project are being funded by the EU, right, the European Union, aiming to involve the industrial sector in the transformation of VET systems to meet the need of digital skills consistent with the technological developments in industry. So we see where this thing is going. A complete technocracy. Technology is going to be the foundation of this fourth industrial revolution. It's all about this man's technology. This is his God. And this is where he's going with this thing. And it's all leading up to this. Let's continue on. Let's get these scriptures now. The book of Revelations, chapter 13, in verse 16, it reads, "And he causeth all," who's he? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. There's these elites, because ultimately this is their little plan and plot and scheme. But at the end of the day, this is Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's micro CHIP, just to make that clear. Because pursuing the Revelations 3 and 10, the hour of temptation, which is going to consist of you being offered this thing, only Yahweh Shai can keep you from it. This is his micro CHIP. And everyone that he's not dealing with is going to fall into the hands of evil E and take it and be doomed and get that judgment, which we're going to go into as well. Right? And he causeth all, right, evil E, these international banking families, these elites, right, the people you don't see, right, pulling the strings, right, and he causeth all, both small and great, right, young, old, doesn't matter how old you are, man, right, rich and poor, free and bond. You can be locked up or out here in society, which you're still locked up, but that's another conversation for another time. But to receive a mark, right, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And what do you think that MARK is? I said it, but it's all good. Let's go back. I said it, but it's all good. Let's go ahead. Let's get this real quick. That G5480.
Strong's G5480. Charagma.
See? Karagma, right? Biblical usage. A stamp and imprinted MARK, right? Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. And there's many anti-Hamashiachs. It's not just one. You see, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, if you get this CHIP, you're showing your allegiance to evil E, right? The mark branded upon horses, the thing carved, sculpture, graven work, right, of idolatrous images. This thing's an idol. It's an idol. And what's the first commandment of the Mosaic law? Thou shalt not put no God before Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's a capital offense. Let's get the root word. Okay? Let's get the root word of this word, karagma. And what's it going to?
Strong's G5482. Charax.
Right, karax, right? Biblical usage goes into what? A pale, right? Or stake, right? A palisade, right? We always go into this. Now, when we go to, let's go back to Google real quick. And let's go here. Now, that karax is going into the delivery system for the micro CHIP. Okay, now let me show you something. Now this is a palisade fence. You see it? See that pointy tip? Yeah, that's a palisade. Okay? Now, when you get Salakia, an image of the delivery system of this micro CHIP. Now look at the delivery system for that grain of rice. Shaped just like a palisade, shaped just like a palisade fence, ain't it? Right. because that's the delivery system for this grain of rice, which is the micro CHIP, which is the mark of the BEAST. Okay, that's the charagma. Okay, this is the karax, right? The palisade, the pail or stake used to deliver that grain of rice inside you. All right, and you're doomed if you do it. You're doomed if you do it. Let's go back. The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 17, it reads, and that no man, all right, and this is going to give credence to it being linked to the central banking digital currency, man. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the MARK, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which we know is 666. See? So you can't buy or sell without this thing, man. That means what? It's going to be used to make transactions with. And we already know that they mentioned that it's going to be linked directly to the CBDC. This is a reality. This is not a made up, this is not story time. So for you dumbasses that decide to go take it, right? Your fate is sealed. Let's get this real quick. The book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 9, and it reads, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his MARK in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, righteous anger. You're going to get a full cup, non-mixed, straight shot. And he shall be tormented. And the phone chimed in. And the phone chimed in. Bear with me. And he shall be tormented with fire and with brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You're going to be tormented with fire and brimstone. As a matter of fact, let's get a visual. What's that? Is that Ezekiel? Let me see something real quick. Is that no, that's Salakia. Let's get a visual of what you're gonna look like when you get hit with that fire and brimstone. The book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12, and it reads, and this shall be the plague, and that plague is those missiles, wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Remember, Jerusalem's a people before it's a place. Jerusalem's referring to Zion or to Zayuan in the Paleo Hebrew. You see, which goes into monument or memorial. It's going into Yasha Allah, our so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let's continue on. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And that's after you catch that grievous sword pursuing the Revelation 16. Because those of you that take that CHIP are going to catch that CANCEI. And it's a damn shame that we got to speak in code, but that's just the reality of things. But this is what's coming. All right? This is what the fourth industrial revolution evolves around. All right? This micro CHIP, the mark of the BEAST. Okay? And if you take it, you're doomed. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Lord willing, you Akiyam and Akwaf will edify. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halalium La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Shalom.